you today? Welcome back to Impossible Live. If you're joining us for the very first time, warm welcome. And if you're returning, thank you so much for your incredible support. Last week was an interesting one, an interesting week in terms of us just having the most interesting technical issues. And it turned out it was a StreamYard issue. So today, we're delighted you're joining us live. And we are delighted that you are just popping in to say hi. And it's really inspired today by Kirk Franklin's song. So we've chatted a bit before about music and about stuff that really lifts us up. And this is a song that lifts us up. It's pouring here today, so just in case we lose power today and the technology entertainment continues, we will have a wonderful chance just to really just say hi and to welcome you back or welcome you to Impossible Live. One of the things I love about our connections and our chances to have conversations are the chances to chat with you about music that lights us up. And Imagine Me is a song, it's a gospel song. For those of you who are on LinkedIn and haven't clicked the link, this is a Kirk Franklin song with some beat, with a bit of rhythm, with a bit of some funk in there. And it's about creativity and it's about lessons learned. And it's also about that journey that some of us have to self trust. I'm grateful for those who have joined us and are joining us on our How to Ignite Trust series that we've been running this summer. It's an upgrade of the amazing spring launch that we had in Amalia Gardner of Audio Leadership Club. If you haven't had a chance and you're on LinkedIn, check out Amazing Amalia. If you're on Instagram, check out Audio Leadership Club. It is definitely the place to be. Amalia inspires us to keep reaching and striving. And that's one of the things that's behind Imagine Me. Having a lot of conversations with clients, with collaborators, with people just looking for a little bit of spark, a bit of a lift. And the reminder, as I'm reading some of the posts from collaborators and that others are sharing, it's getting a little challenging on some days. And to help with some of those challenges, we need things like the words to the song Imagine Me. It reminds me of some lessons learned from complex seasons of gratitude, grief, and growth, lessons learned from collaborations, from relationships with family members, with colleagues, with collaborators, with ideal future clients. Seems to be more of a time crunch or a time push. Maybe it means it's the summer in some countries where others are pushing and thriving. Maybe it's just a sign of things speeding up a little bit in our world. But the real reminder to breathe and decompress. And I was really reminded today by one of our prior guests, Stacy Casson. And Stacy had an amazing post that reminds me, just like Clarine Mitchell's great news and congratulations and celebrations as you help us shine online, Clarine, that it's time for some more self care in here. And the self care might include journaling, it may include poetry, it may include maybe you're camping, maybe you're vacationing, maybe you're celebrating graduations or weddings. But somewhere in there, in the Imagine Me, where we fit in the puzzle and some of the lessons we've learned, there's some keys in there to self trust. The really reminder that when we don't follow our intuition, when we're trying to help and serve many people at the same time, that somewhere in there, we need to pause, say hi, say how are you doing, say I see you, say that we've we've learned some stuff that's helping us kind of believe in ourselves, whether it's in taking shorter steps, whether the reminder today to really concentrate on self-care. And I'm laughing because just before we went live, internet went out. And the reminder to just not sweat it, not overthink it, and to imagine ourselves in that position where maybe we're reflecting a little bit on some of the lessons learned. Ah, Sean Michael, how are you? Warm welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. Sean Michael has an amazing set of skills and voice, and he's really adding tremendous light and resonance into what I'm always calling our fragile world. So if you haven't had a chance and you are on LinkedIn or you're on Substack, check him out. He's doing some amazing things in terms of lifting us up, whether it's shorts on YouTube or an article or something to think about on Substack, or just it's an invitation to come out and play with him as he goes live. But it's the real reminder that imagine me means we need to really be able to imagine ourselves in a better, lighter space, well supported, whether it's with a faith walk, whether it's amazing collaborators, whether it's with Amalia today announced she's going to have an audio summit, whether it's with people who are sharing new ideas, just something to kind of light the spark. But somewhere in there, if we don't imagine ourselves really well supported and in a state of grace, and in a state of grace with a stronger faith walk, with some cheerleaders, with some people who just encourage us, it's getting more important every single day. And as we're rushing around, many seem to have less time for that. So, just the suggestion, try and say thank you. And we keep talking about this to somebody you haven't had a chance to show appreciation for. Thank you note, short audio message, short handwritten note, some flowers, favorite gift, something to spark and let someone know that you're witnessing the journey, that you're appreciating. Hi, Daniel. How are you? Thanks, Daniel. Warm, warm welcome to Impossible Live. Or whenever I connect with Daniel online, we've started talking about ice cream. And I remember this from the ice cream social conversation that we had during Disruptive Business Leadership. We need to keep creating spaces where we're inviting each other in, where we're cheering each other on, so that we feel the energy that we need to keep taking great steps. And great steps sometimes is really small steps. They can feel like lateral steps, they can feel like steps forward. Sometimes feels like we're taking a step to pull back a little bit. But imagine ourselves in a space where we're trusting our instincts. We're able to be in environments and safe spaces where we're able to trust the really amazing creative energies, that we're surrounded by people who kind of are thinking of our greater good. And Imagine Me is about really learning to tap into that voice internally. Karen Fayweather has has shown us how to do this through affirmations. You've seen Shirley Felder of with hashtag visibly disruptive, with an invitation to kind of show up, stir up. Hey, Christy, speaking of amazing energy, we are surrounded by it. And I'm so grateful for you as part of the Impossible Live community, as part of the Be Visible with Mel community, and as part of Be Visible Solutions, which is finally emerging this summer. So the invitation under Imagine Me is in the song, talks about some struggles, some hurdles, some stuff maybe that you carry from a family perspective. We all have this. We have legacies, we have weights we carry, and you have burdens sometimes that you're carrying. And imagine the lightness and the brightness past that. Some would say I'm an internal optimist. I am so not. I am a certified trust coach who's gone through the journey of acknowledging my trust shadows, my trust barriers, my, now I like to call them trust opportunities, and help you recognize them. Whether it's a chance to have a conversation about the lessons learned with somebody who cares, with somebody who appreciates them, with maybe somebody who needs to hear your story today. Also, check out Jonathan Howard, who just kicked off Story Lab this morning. And Jonathan, I adore you and celebrating you and your big steps today. Launching takes some energy, popping up with new ideas, with creativity. And it also requires a faith walk. And I'm grateful now that during the complex seasons of gratitude, grief, and growth, exceptional coaches, exceptional collaborators, rock solid, amazing family. And what I'm laughing is our family is about to have a family reunion. And to make sure that I'm taking great care of myself and my family, my amazing brother and I agreed I'm not going this year. So I helped a bit with the family reunion t shirts that are shipping today. I'm really grateful for that. I will cheer them on. I will wish them safe travels. I may join them remotely, but it's really the reminder to imagine yourself in that place. I now know from the self trust journey that the conversation my brother and I had about really keeping things simple, because that's what we both need. And had a wonderful conversation with a client today about simplify to amplify. We need to keep it bite sized. We need to keep it simple. And when it's not, when the energy is not right, when it doesn't feel right, to really tap into where we are. And imagine me is imagine yourself in that better place. That place where sharing the lessons learned with transparency, with clarity, sometimes not the right space or time, need a little bit of privacy, need to make sure it's the right person, need to make sure they're as invested as you are in terms of caring about others. A couple of years ago, in an amazing community, I mentioned Fragile World. People didn't really understand it. I am looking forward to popping back into that community because I know now can have some of the conversations I would have loved to have about lessons learned. I don't really talk about my faith much. And I don't from with respect for others who have different spiritual journeys, who aren't interested in your spiritual journeys, who aren't sometimes interested in what we have to say. But from that note, know that it doesn't always mean they don't care. It doesn't mean they always don't like us. It just may mean that they're on a different page of a different book today. It may mean there's an opportunity in the future for a deep, rich conversation about it, or there's an opportunity to help them re explore trust. I'm mentioning trust because it's coming up so often, not just because I'm still working on that advanced trust certification project. And I have to thank Amazing Yvette of Organizational Soul for inviting me to start a new course this week, which will continue to deepen the trust journey. And Yvette's going to join us during our How to Ignite Trust, Activate, and Rejuvenate later this week. And she's joining us again. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you not for just for listening, but for sharing your lessons learned, whether Sean sharing amazing leadership journeys and cool mind shift stuff. And Daniel, I want to thank you. My freezer is no longer full of ice cream, but it's the reminder during the summer, think lighter, think brighter. And you reminded me that as a family, we would always celebrate with ice cream. I appreciate too Christy. Christy's got that Florida sunshine. She brings love and light wherever she goes. An incredible speaker. I had a pleasure of listening to her speak on Jackie's show about a month ago. It was game changing, life changing, because she shared her lessons about being a single mom and raising an amazing son. And Daniel, thanks so much for asking about the new course. So, in the past, I had a course, Creating Connections to Scale and Creating Collaborations to Scale, and they're now become group coaching programs. And Yvette Bethel is a thought leader in trust. She's just received an amazing award, a top 10 certification. And I think it's from Trust Across America. And as part of it, she's always developing new certifications, new courses, new pilot programs. And she's helped me really locate the lens of transparency through my trust journey, as well as introducing me to it through the simple fact that trust is an emotion. And Yvette's testing a pilot, and I'm a teacher's kid who loves to learn. Daniel, the sponge is always going. And, I think it's one of the things too about being in learning and development. And it's the thing about lessons learned. Our lesson is something to help someone else with when we're comfortable sharing it in the right scenario, the right environment, with the right support, in places where you know your voices are treasured, where there's always a seat for you at the table, and there's always one for you at Impossible Live. And on that note, I'm going to thank you for joining us today because I'm listening to the thunder. And I know the lightning is next. So I want to wish you, wherever you are, thanks for popping in today, popping in Team Live, popping in Team Replay. Let us know ways that we can help you in between our impossible lives. And let's create places for others to imagine themselves at their, Pam Sterling said it, as their brightest and best selves, in places where they can flourish, where we can all grow, where we can nourish and cultivate relationships and really just help each other. Ah, give a hand. And today, this one's for you. With thanks, I wish you a magnificent day filled with blessings, filled with opportunities, filled with possibilities. Stay safe, stay well, stay inspired, and stay in touch. And if we haven't reconnected or connected recently, let's make that happen over virtual coffee or virtual tea, virtual chai, for virtual happy hour, or for a virtual brunch. It would be my pleasure and honor. Thanks again for joining us today and for all you're doing to add love, light, and tremendous vibrant energies to Impossible Life. Take great care. Be well.